Hello, Sanbanani Dumelang Avsheni Anyong Haseyo. I hope everybody's doing well. Welcome back to another episode of Jenny Self Care Lab. So today is actually our first episode of ingredients and products. We're doing this on the back of Mindful Mondays. Mindful Mondays is basically a series that we're going to be doing on Mondays where we talk about different ingredients, where we talk about the basics of skin and skincare. So one of the things that you need to be mindful of is what are you buying and what is inside that thing. Now, I know a lot of people would love to be able to read the ingredients, but they read them and they just don't understand what's going on there. However, in these episodes, we're going to try as far as possible to take a few minutes to break them down so that it can make your job a little bit easier when you are purchasing the stuff that you need to purchase. And I'll try as far as possible to link them to the kinds of products that they typically would be found in. We're talking today about hydration, and two products within hydration that we're going to be touching on are glycerine and hyaluronic acid. If you're anything like me and you have super dry skin, I don't necessarily have flaky skin, but if you have flaky skin, this is also for you. But I have super dry skin to the point where I struggle with most products for them to actually do anything for me. Like I put them on and in the moment it feels great, and then like 10 minutes later, it's just like, did you even put any cream on? It's like just ashes everywhere. Okay. So we're going to be talking about hydration and how do you help your dry skin so that you can get dewy, glowy, radiant skin. If this is you and you are like, I can relate, this is a video for you. If you have flaky skin, if you are struggling with just like the glow, it's like everything looks dull, everything just looks blank, this video is for you. So, one of the things that I first learned in my skincare journey, and particularly as I started to think about Jenny and Co., was the idea of hydration. In my own journey, I was not hydrating my skin very well. In fact, I thought I had oily skin for the longest time, and I'll do a separate video on how I found out that I didn't have oily skin. But I thought I had oily skin for the longest time. Turns out I have dry skin, but my skin had become oily because it was overcompensating for the lack of hydration that I was giving it. And as soon as I changed my products, I kid you not, it was like night and day. Night and day, Bazalwane. Like literally, my skin went from being like super oily to the point where I would just touch it and it would just like be oil versus once I started using the right products for dry skin and making sure that my skin was hydrated, it literally just started like boom, just looking good, glowing, just like amazing, less oil. And so there's a huge difference that I realized along the way that like there's like sometimes when you have oily skin, it can look like you have a glow. But when you've had oily skin and you've touched that and seen what it looks like versus real glow, like real glow doesn't come out of your skin. Does that make sense? It's like with the oil, you like do this when you do like the patch test and you do that and you're like, there's oil on your fingers. But when you have glowing skin and you touch your skin, like you're not going to see anything on your hands, right? Because your skin is healthy, it's glowing, it's radiating. And so, okay, let's cut into it. So hydration is the foundation of healthy skin, and I'm here to share with you guys the two powerhouse ingredients that I've been using for the longest time now, and they have been an insane game changer for me. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's dive in. Let's dive in. First up, we're going to be talking about hyaluronic acid. This ingredient is an absolute superpower when it comes to hydration. There are a number of different ingredients that you can use for hydration, but I particularly like hyaluronic acid because I find it to be effective, but still good for my skin, which also is sensitive, right? There are a number of other ingredients that you could be using, and I'll delve into those in different videos. However, not all ingredients are good for sensitive skin. Some of them are a little bit harsher because they're a little bit stronger or whatever the case may be. But I love hyaluronic acid because I literally just, it works for me. It's effective. It gives me the hydration I need. It's like a superstar, but at the same time, it caters for people with sensitive skin. Um, Hyaluronic acid, if you didn't know, can hold up to 1,000 times its weight in water. So that means it draws a lot more moisture deep into the skin and it leaves your skin feeling plump, smooth, and glowing. One of the other things that I also find with hyaluronic acid is that it does fill in like the lines. If you have fine lines on your face, sometimes like your smile lines and that kind of stuff, the nice thing about it is it also plumps up your lines and your wrinkles. And so it's a nice way to also like almost counter the anti-aging piece or the wrinkles and the fine lines in your skin if you have those. So I love it for that reason. But more than that, it does also just give me a very amazing, just like non-dry feeling. It's non-sticky most of the times, well, at least the ones I use are not sticky. I have used one that I didn't like, which was the one by The Ordinary. And I don't think it's a bad product. I just think for my skin, it wasn't working very well. I've been very vocal about the L'Oreal one that comes in the purple range. I don't have it right now because it's finished, but the L'Oreal one that comes in the purple range is super good. I've loved that one. That one really plumps a girl up. It leaves you glowing. I love it. But I will say, L'Oreal, your prices lately are looking like, okay, we're gonna need you to just have a look at those. But yeah, I love those two. I swear by them. Currently, I am using the following products for hydration that have hyaluronic acid. I have acid in maybe like 60% of my products. So this is the Cosrx peptide, 6 peptide booster. I love it because it has hyaluronic acid in it and a sufficient amount. So when I put this on, even if I don't have my hyaluronic, like I said, at the moment, my normal L'Oreal one has run out, and I'm not willing to spend that much money on it right now. So I'm comfortable using this on its own. It's really good. And I love that it has a bunch of other benefits as well. Even though we're not talking about those today, it helps with firmness and smoothing the skin and my pores. It minimizes my pores, which I love. And it helps also manage your sebum care. So look out for this. This is really great for dry skin, but also really great for combination skin because it helps manage your oil production as well. And then I have this current one that I'm using from Standard Soul. This is a new product from their new skincare brand. And they've actually sent me to try it out. So I'm using this. It's brand new. And so far, so good. This is my current hyaluronic acid alternative over and above the peptide booster because I use the peptide booster first and then the serums on top. And then my cream, which I absolutely love, is the CeraVe one, which is a moisturizing cream that I put on at the end. But I love this because it literally has 3 essential ceramides and hyaluronic acid. Now, for someone with dry skin, this is so helpful, but it's also nice that it doesn't like some moisturizers that I've tried that are supposed to be for dry skin. They leave your skin feeling almost like too oily from not I don't want to say oily, like too moisturized from the moisturizer. I don't know how to describe it. Like it just feels too much. But this I love that it actually gives me a little bit of a mattiness to it. So that I'm not like over glowing from product. I'm like just I just have my natural glow then, which is great. So I love this. It's amazing. Yeah, I've been using this now for months and I just love how it is. And it is CeraVe is a really good brand, I find, at least for the stuff I've used by them. And it is also good for sensitive skin. So this is another one of them. Then for my body as well, you would think it was only my face that had dry skin. No, it's my whole body. And my hands are even worse. Like I have a whole combination of how I put lotion on my hands because there's no one lotion I've found to actually work for my hands because that's how dry they are. It's giving sandpaper, honey, sandpaper. Like just when I'm trying to like rub my hands. It's insane. These two, my goodness, my goodness. So both of these have hyaluronic acids and these are body serums. And I've started to add them to my routine a few months ago, like in August, September. And I've been using them for months. I absolutely love them. This is the one I use at night. And this is the one I use in the mornings. And then they also give me a nice dewy radiance and just give my skin that like supple feeling. But they also smell really good, which I love. So going to bed, I smell good. Waking up and going out, I smell good. But I absolutely swear by these by Vaseline. I have also tried their other Vaseline products as well that have hyaluronic acid. So I've tried those as well. But these are my last two standing. That's literally how much of this I put on. I've gone through 2 full bottles already. tubes of different ones. These are my last one standing. So hyaluronic acid, really good for dry skin, really gets into make sure that the moisture is drawn deep into your skin. And you should check out some of our other videos that are coming up on where we actually break down the skin layers and explain kind of like the difference between your top skin layer, the skin layer in the middle, and then the bottom skin layer. And it's always really good to understand what kind of ingredients are actually seeping into the skin enough and what to look out for. One thing about hyaluronic acid, you want to remember to apply it on damp skin so that on damp skin. So like once you've washed your face and you've put on your toner, don't let your toner dry out completely. Or if you're like me, I first put on my peptide before I put on my hyaluronic acid. Whatever it is you're putting on before, make sure that it's still a little bit damp before when you put on your hyaluronic acid. So don't let it dry out. And then the other thing is make sure that you lock it in with moisturizer. If you put on your hyaluronic acid and you don't put on moisturizer, you're defeating the purpose. Know that. Our super house product number 2, or ingredient number 2 rather, is on our hydration hit list is glycerine. Glycerine. Now, the interesting thing about glycerine is I grew up like Rotasa glycerine. Like you would buy it in this little small bottle. It was a clear bottle with like blue patterns on it. My great grandmother had it, and we would wear cocoa butter lotion from Clear Skin. I think the brand's name is Clear. And she would put it inside the bottle and mix it up with the rest of the lotion. And that's how I knew glycerine growing up. And at the time, I remember growing up and thinking, what's this lady doing? But you know what? That homie, my home girl, she was onto something. She was onto something, and I love it. So this humble ingredient is often overlooked. And listen, it is a hydration hero. If there is a superhero in hydration, it's glycerine. It works as a humectant, meaning that it pulls moisture from the environment into the skin and keeps the skin soft and supple throughout the day. Now, one thing that you will notice is if you look at most products, if you start to go shopping and you actually look at most products, they are likely to have some glycerine in it. Now, some of them will have like very little concentration of glycerine because it's used as a humectant, but they will have some level of glycerine in it. Most products I've seen have this. Um, I love glycerine because it's budget friendly. It's effective, and it reminds me of my great grandmother. Every time I put it on, it reminds me of my great grandmother. What you don't want to do, though, which I learned as part of my research, is that you don't want to put the glycerine on its own. So after I was doing my research and I started Jenny and Co, and I was like, oh my gosh, Granny was right. Me was right. She was onto something. I then went and I got this from Dischem. You can get them at Dischem. There's like a section where it sells like the different oils, the castor oils and whatever. In that section, you can get this glycerine. So I buy this tiny little one because I be traveling, and I put it into my creams. So obviously I don't put it into this kind of cream just because this already is really good, a really good level of hydration. However, I do have body creams. I still use cocoa butter because it reminds me of me. And I do have those body creams. Then when I get those, I put a little bit of this inside. I shake, 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 and it gets all mixed up. And then I use it in that way. You don't want to use glycerine on its own on your body, but make sure that you're mixing it with something else. And um, you don't want to put too much as well. So when I say I put it into like a tube, I probably put it into a tube like slightly bigger than this, a bottle bigger than this of cocoa butter lotion. And then I put like a little bit, maybe like half of this bottle or something. So you don't want to put too much. And also it depends on the lotion already, like how moisturizing it already is. For me, my skin, like I said, it's giving sandpaper. Okay, so that's how dry it is, especially in the winter, especially in the winter. And I'm a person who loves to take super long hot showers. Um, so that makes my skin even more dry, but I'm not willing to give up my hot showers just yet, especially not in the winter. So I do have to like add a little bit more glycerine into my lotion than I would normally. In the summer, I can use the lotion as it is. I'm not too stressed because then my skin is fine. It's not as dry. But if you are like me and your skin is super dry, try it out, see how it works. But remember not to use it on its own. Yeah, so what's great about glycerin is it's budget friendly, super effective, often found in a lot of toners, cleansers, moisturizers. It helps strengthen your skin barrier as well, which is really good, and it protects it from dehydration and environmental stresses. Like I said, it's a king. Literally, it is a king when we talk about ingredients, and you're often going to find it in a lot of ingredients. So I hope this video was a little bit helpful if you are needing hydration for your skin. Look for products that have glycerin, that have hyaluronic acid. And if you're like me and your skin is just so dry that it is beyond help at this point, then you maybe want to, look at the products that are really, really good for hydration. Like I say, glycerin, you can add a little bit to your lotion. And then you also want to look at things like CeraVe and the peptide booster, which I find to be really good. In fact, I still layer this with my hyaluronic acid. So I put this first, I put on the hyaluronic acid, I put on my vitamin C or whatever other serum for the day, and or my niacinamide, whatever, and then I put on my moisturizer and I'm good to go. So make sure you look out for those. Just remember that hydration is so important for glowing skin. I cannot even tell you. You can put on a bunch of other things that you want to put on, but hydration has got to be part of your routine, whether as part of your existing products or separately in a different bottle, but it has got to be part of your routine, especially if you have dry skin. Nonetheless, that is it for today's skincare chat and for Mindful Mondays. I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comment section, what are you using for hydration in your skincare routine? Let me know if this was a helpful video. What else would you like to learn about? And yeah, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification button so that you don't miss out on any of our glow up moments. And we'll chat again next week, Monday.